Hi there, welcome back to the channel. I hope you are all doing well and I hope you are excited for me to review some stockings. Now, I have reviewed these particular branded stockings before and you seemed to like them. And so did I, so I wanted to try them out in a different colourway. So let me show you what I have. These are the Obsessive deep lace topped stockings, part of the Seductive range. They're a 15 denier and I have them in the colour white. And I have them in the size large to extra large. Now, I unboxed and reviewed these in the colour black last time and I really love them. I'm a huge fan of a really deep stocking top and these were like the dream for me. And I don't have these in white. And I really wanted to see what they were like because I don't actually have that many white stockings and I am a little bit of a fan. So these are retailing for $12.95 on the Tight Spot. As you all know, that's where I tend to get a lot of my hosiery from generally. So I will link these in the description box below, so it'll take you straight to the product. And if you like them and want to get yourself a pair, you can use my code Langford and that will get you 10% off as well. So either way, you're getting a very gorgeous pair of stockings, hopefully, and a little bit of money off. So I actually like the packaging. I think the packaging is, I mean, it's kind of standard, isn't it? Feminine kind of vibe to it, but actually what I really like is the fact that you can absolutely perfectly 100% just see the stockings. My preference would have been for white shoes, but I am a real stickler for detail, and for me the cream shoes kind of doesn't quite cut the mustard, but the stockings there you can see perfectly. The back is super minimal, very minimal. We have their sort of shorthand logo and not much after that really. So yeah, we sort of sometimes we go one extreme to the other. The box would be full, but this is very minimal. It's quite in your face actually, weirdly, even though I think it's because there's a lot of black and pink. Sometimes that can be a bit funny on the eyes. But anyway, it just says unleash your fantasies. It has a product key number. It says they're white on the back. And it says that's pretty much it. It's Polish hosiery brand. You have to hand wash them at 30. And it says they are 90% nylon and 10% elastane. And that's pretty much it. The only sizing that you know is actually on the sort of product barcode and general info where it says it's a large to extra large. Now let me just double check in terms of sizing. I think these are all dual sizing, so they are a small to yes. So we've got on the Tight Spot a small to medium, and then a large to an extra large. So they don't do a medium to large, you just have that sort of jump between the two, which isn't necessarily ideal. It would be better to kind of have a little bit more of a product sizing range, but there we go. I've just gone for the large to extra large because I kind of tend to go for the biggest size within reason that they do, just so that they're super comfy. So yeah, standard packaging, the awful plastic wrap, and we have a plain bit of cardboard that they are wrapped in. And here they are, the two together. So I'm going to just show you one because If I've shown you one, I've shown you them both. And we'll do what I always do and start from the top. So this is an absolutely gorgeous, incredibly deep lace top to the stocking. I love how deep these are, and I really like that the stocking top is scalloped with the flower design. It doesn't cut off anywhere or give you a straight top. It's got a very obvious seam on the stocking, which is usually at the back or in the inside of the leg, but it's actually a really flat seam. So if there's going to be a seam there, it's kind of trying to hide as much as it can in the lace. The only thing you might want to just give a snip to is just this little tail end that's off here. But either way, it's gorgeous. The lace is stunning on these. Really beautiful. It's quite a heavy lace, but also quite dainty at the same time, which I really like. Almost got a little polka dot style in some of them as well, and I really like that the lace comes down onto the sort of edging of the join between the stocking and the actual top itself. And then we just have the stocking. So these are a 20 denier. They feel really soft as well. There's no shaping to the foot, but they feel nice and soft. What I always say is that sort of plasticky material, which always sounds really weird, but actually ends up being quite robust and very soft. There's no reinforcement there at all, which isn't an issue, but just to let you know that there isn't anything specifically there. And then we just go straight into the stocking. Now these are actually a really lovely kind of glowy white as well. Really super pretty. So we're off to a good start because these look beautiful, but all that's left for me to do is put them on. So I'm going to go ahead, put them on, and we are going to see what we think of them for the price. So I have the stockings on, and I really love them. The colour, or should I say the shade of white, is stunning. They are a real polar white rather than a yellow white. They're a bluey white, and they're just really beautiful. So as always, I will start with showing you the foot, and then we'll go from there. So they are very simple on the foot. As I said, there's no reinforcement or anything there at all. So just, yeah, really simple, quite sheer. I think they look really nice. Yeah, simple. Sometimes simple is best, but yeah, really nice. As I said before as well, they do always feel slightly more silky / sort of plasticky, but the material for these is really robust, I think, for a 20 denier. But as you can see, there's a real reasonable amount of sort of give in these all the way sort of up, and onto the thigh there's a reasonable amount as well. These were the large to extra large, so I would expect there to be a reasonable amount of room. They've got a really gorgeous shine. It didn't particularly say that they had a shine to them, but I think they just have a bit of a sheeny sort of glow to them, and I think they're the kind of stockings that will take on a shade of the outfit colour that you're wearing as well, just because they're so reflective. So these have got a sort of almost a purpley bluey kind of sheen going on to them. But yeah, so this is kind of how they are looking. I think they're super lovely actually. There's not too much, yeah, there's not necessarily a shine, but there is a bit of a sort of a glimmer, a glint of kind of, like I say, because there's a kind of a blue tone, there we go, then it kind of does give it a bit of a shimmer. But here are the actual tops themselves. So they are that super deep lace, very deep, my favourite kind, to be honest. But as you can see, there's a reasonable amount of give here. The only thing I will say is that this line here, which is your main seam line, you can see there's quite a bit of stretch there, but there's quite a bit less stretch. So just, you know, bear that in mind. This bit is generally a little bit tighter here. For me personally, as a perfectionist, it cuts in a little bit on the side of my leg here. It's not the most noticeable, possibly not really that noticeable on camera, but that's just me being my sort of perfectionist sort of vibe. But yeah, these are really, really stunning tops to them. Really, really lovely. I love that deep top. And I would also say as well that the lace itself on the top is really, really soft. Sometimes you can have a lace top that's quite rough and can kind of hurt your legs a little bit. But no, this is really, really beautiful. It went on really easily as well. So my suspender belt is a little bit more of a robust one. It is a classic 6 strap, so it's much sort of easier. There we go, even with the sort of thickness to pop it on there. So whilst they are thick kind of tops to them, and there's a lot of sort of raised design, they aren't super hard to, you know, get attached to a suspender belt. So I think overall these are lovely. I would appreciate them to do a little bit more of a size range. I think a medium to large would have been really great. So we would have had small, medium, large, large, extra large. Just gives you that little bit of range. I mean, they may argue that their size range covers enough, but I don't think that's necessarily the best sort of argument to have. I think it's safer just to have that extra option. But aside from that, I think the quality of these is wonderful, actually. They're really well manufactured. All of the joins, the seams, perfect, no issues with those. Even the seam on the tops of these as well was flat, which was really, really nice. I can't remember if you can see the flat. Yeah, so the flat seam here shows you. You can't really see it too much. It sort of blends in. But I think overall they're a really lovely design. And I think they're good for a variety of sort of different things as well. I mean, they look nice with this sort of dress here. It gives you a bit of a spring summer look. And also, you know, if you're somebody who's adamant on wearing bridal stockings and things like this, even these are sort of nice enough for that, I think, as well. I'm going to give these, what am I going to give them? I'm going to give them a 9.5 out of 10. And I'm knocking the half off because this seam here could do with being a little less tight. When I'm thinking about a large to extra large, I'm thinking about this sort of cutting in quite a bit. So that's why I'm giving them a 9.5. Still great, I still love them, and I genuinely do think they are worth the price point as well. In actual fact, I could see them being more expensive and still being something to recommend. So yeah, really recommend them. Don't forget, I've left the product link in the description box below, so if you like them, it'll take you straight to them, and if you want a little extra discount as well, use the code Langford for the 10% on that. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you all soon for another one. Bye.